Uh, Hello everyone, it's me, John Arroyo, back with another episode of Neurodiverse Festival Says. And boy, was Halloween Havoc crazy. We got some new champions, 2 PLEs announced, one later this month. That's gonna change everything going into November. And another one in December to pretty much end the year off with a bang. We had some killer matches and some crazy moments. So let's get right into it. So we start the night off with Javon Evans and Leon Slater versus Miss Iguana and El Parka. Guys, this was a pure adrenaline rush to start NXT Halloween Havoc. It was just so fun. The energy Parker had doing dances, offs with Evans. Then bam, both men traded punches, and then it was a lucha house party. Iguana was doing his thing, playing dead, mid-match, hilarious. Then springboards all over the place, everyone flying. It was pure chaos, and it brought AAA, TNA, and NXT all together, and kind of give us a small preview of this big event that's coming in November. And near the end, it was just chaos. It was a moment with Yeska getting thrown into Leon and Evans. They didn't know what to do, and then Iguana flies in, and then it's a moment with Iguana just smacking everyone with Ileska. Parka does like a spinning tombstone to like Evans. Like it was some crazy spots. But at the end, we got some killer cutters and frog splashes from Evans and Leon for the win. It was an absolute fire and a great way to start the crowd for Halloween Havoc. And then it led into our second match. So we had Ethan Page versus El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. for the Day of the Dead match for the North American title. And guys, it was just straight up chaos. Ethan Page came out with like half a Mexican skull on his face, inspired gear, like Day of the Dead gear. And right from the bell, Dr. Wagner went full beast mode, beating the hell out of him. We had steel chairs, trash can lids, skeleton bones, yes, even skeleton bones that Ethan Page found by ringside. They went flying. At one point, Ethan almost ripped off the mask of El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., and that's when he snapped. He went full, like, Frankenstein mode, beating the hell out of Ethan, hitting him multiple times with steel chairs. It was some deadly spots, like this one spot of Ethan just throwing El Nino into multiple, like, chairs back and forth into a backbreaker, and then El Nino, the Dr. Wagner Jr., does a reverse Frankensteiner off the top rope, letting Ethan hit a steel chair, like, and then Ethan Page got hit in the butt with a steel chair, and then trash can leads. It was just pure chaos. But at the end, a killer eat defeat combo into a springboard neckbreaker for Ethan Page for the win. And it was a really good match. Both men did good, and it shows that why Ethan Page is one of the best people at NXT. And man, I'm gonna say it, who in the hell is gonna beat Ethan Page? Because it was crafty the way the match ended. He ended it with a twisted cutter through a table, throwing powder in Dr. Wagner's face for the win. Who the hell does this stuff? It was a killer match. It was hardcore art and one of the best matches of the night. And then backstage, we have Kalani Jordan and Jordan Grace arguing. So Kalani's just watching the show, you know, and then Jordan Grace is like, oh, wow, you got your own locker room. And Kalani's like, yeah, because none of the women like me. And Jordan Grace is like, well, if you wasn't so mean. And then Kalani's like, what is your deal with me? Kalani says, like, what is your problem? I have to focus on my next opponent for the Knockouts title. And Jordan Grace says, well, I already talked to Santino. And Kalani's like, what you gonna do? Like, you can't do nothing. She's like, I was one of the longest waiting Knockouts champions, and I talked to Santino. And it's announced that this week on NXT, we're going to get Jordynne Grace and Kalani Jordan for the Knockouts title. So that's pretty cool. And then, guys, it's announced NXT Gold Rush will be November 18th and 25th. And boy, it's not just NXT. We're talking NXT. We're talking Evolve. And we're also talking Triple A in the mix. And multiple titles will be defended across all brands in this show. So it's massive. This might be the biggest NXT crossover yet, and I'm hyped. I'm speculating what titles are going to be on the line. Are we going to have the Triple A Mega Championship on the line? Are we going to get the X Division Championship on the line? Are we going to get the Knockouts? Are we going to get the North American Man or Woman? Are we going to get La Reinas de Reinas, the women's Triple A title? Like, we have all these titles. Also with Evolve. I want to see the man and woman Evolve title. Maybe this is where they announce the Evolve men's tag team titles. Like, it's a lot going into NXT Gold Rush, and I cannot wait. And I just can't wait because it's going to be killer, and it's a lot in store for November. So I'm hyped for the month of November. And then we got Zoria versus Blake Monroe for the North American Championship. Zoria was defending it for Sol Ruca. Zoria came out with all like skeleton gear sold by ringside. But come on. Blake Monroe killed it. She came out as Tiffany, the bride of Chucky from Child's Play, looking so good. The gear was good. It matched her gimmick. The glamorous harlot in danger. And this match was so good. Right away, both women brawled nastily back and forth. Blake targeted Zoria's arm throughout the match with full pain. That like killer like armbar on the top rope, and then that reverse armbar Yugonagi move. Zoria hits a powerbomb getting out of it. Zoria hit some really good moves. Back in the ring, like they really fought. But I'm going to be honest, it was some points in the match that Zoria looked at a little sloppy, but Blake, as the veteran, kind of kept her in line. Great roll-ups and stuff, great back and forth, and near the end, a little bit of chaos. So Zoria is helping Sol because Sol gets knocked down by Blake on the outside due to crazy interference. Blake is about to use the hair pick, but then Zoria hits a spear. That's a kick out. And then more chaos. Blake goes in a brawl with Zoria on the outside. Zoria accidentally hits the steel steps. Sol helps Zoria put her arm back in place, but that wasn't enough. Sol and Zoria once again bump into each other. And Blake is able to hit a glamorous DDT on the outside and inside the ring for the win. So Blake Monroe is her newest Women's North American Championship holder. And Sol does not look happy, but literally, Zoria told her before the match started, I don't think you should go out there. And Sol's like, no, it's fine. So we have to see how that storyline all plays out. Then we get another backstage segment. So Kendall Gray, Carmen Petrovich, and Ren Sinclair is talking. And Ren Sinclair talked about how Kendall Gray stood up for her last week on NXT. And she was talking about trying to get Carmen Petrovich in the new North Quarter Catch crew, but for women. And then Lash came in saying, whatever. Kendall Gray, what is your problem? Lash says you're out of your league. Evolve is for little girls. NXT is for big girls. Kendall Gray says, well, I want to face you one-on-one. And Lash says, yeah. And it's going to be for the Evolve Women Champion. So next week, this Tuesday on NXT, we will have Lash Legend versus Kendall Gray for the Women's Evolve Championship. If you didn't notice, we already have 2 matches announced and Gold Rush is on its way. So pretty much anything is going to happen and I cannot wait. And that led into the next women's match. So pretty much we had a women's match, a segment. Pretty much all the women stuff was all like back and forth. First with Kalani and Jordynne Grace backstage, then the North American title match, then the Honor match announced for the Evolve Women's Championship next week. Now we have the NXT Women's Championship match, and it was good. So we had Tatum Paxley versus JC Jane. Tatum Paxley came out. Oh, I loved her gear. It was like Live Rona inspired. She posted it on Instagram and on social. Like her and Nicole were all white. It was so good. Like Live Rona inspired. It was so good. JC Jane and Fatal Influence kind of did like, I guess like harlots or witches. I don't know. It was kind of cool. The match was back and forth chaos. Right away, JC tried everything to take down Tatum, but Tatum put in her spider submission holds, like on near the ring ropes. And then she did this new one when she kind of like how Victoria back then did like this, the Widow's Peak, but then she turned it into a submission hold. It was really cool, really innovative. I love that, Tatum. But then on the outside, we had a little bit of a brawl. And then Tatum got hit in between the rope and the apron, and her neck went almost cracked, and it looked deadly. JC Jane almost snapped Tatum's neck. Back in the ring, JC beats up Tatum's neck. That's the main focal point, hitting neck breakers, hitting multiple kicks to the back of her head. Fallon and Laney try to get involved, pulling her where the referee's not seeing. Great back and forths, and then near the end, JC Jane hits a rolling punch, but that does not work because Sean Spears puts Tatum's legs on the rope. Laney goes flying into Sean and Nico. Izzy beats the hell out of Laney, and then Fallon does her super spinning kick on the ring post, and then everyone gets executed by ringside. JC Jane is scared, screaming, "What do I do?" Tatum comes back from the dead like the creepy, awesome person she is. Great back and forths, roll-ups galore. Just great moves from both women. At the end, Fatal Influence comes back again with the Cullen. Fallon and Laney jumping on Nico and Sean's back. Izzy grabs the title, try to hit JC with it. JC hits a spinning kick, pump-up kick, and Tatum hits a spinning Widow, like, I think it's the spinning Widow, like, flip. I don't know what they call it, like, her finisher, but it's, like, cool. It's kind of like a Black Widow, like, submission hold, but it goes into, like, a Trouble in Paradise kind of flip for the win. And Tatum Paxley is her new NXT Women's Champion. I am happy. I'm actually happy. I felt like Tatum Paxley should have won the North American Women's Championship. I'm really interested to see how this goes because Izzy Dame kind of helped her but backfired, but Tatum still won. Izzy kind of looks a little frustrated but happy. Fatal Influence looks shocked that JC lost, and JC looks mad at them. We need to see how this all plays out, especially because NXT Gold Rush is nearby. And I just want to see, like, Tatum Paxley's NXT run. Hopefully, it's a pretty good one, not like, oh, she's a champion, then they just take it right off of her. So we have to see how that all plays out. And then backstage, we had Myers Bourne talk to Ava. Ava says, "I'm so sorry about whatever going on with Josh Briggs." And Myers Bourne said, "How do you guys even get the footage?" And Ava's like, "NXT Anonymous is creepy." Guys, NXT Anonymous has been around for almost 2 years, and we still don't know who the hell it is. So when it gets revealed, I bet you it's a pretty big name, or they're building up to it. 'Cause lately, NXT Anonymous, we kind of find out that wrestlers are not happy about it, so we need to wait to see. And then Heights come in saying that he has unfinished business with Josh Briggs, and Ava says, well, Josh Briggs is right. It's way too many men at the top of the line. So next week on NXT, we will have Myers Bourne versus Travion Heights. Not just that, we also get announced and confirmation that Deadline will be happening December 6th, and the road to the Iron Survivor now begins right after this PLE of Halloween Havoc and Gold Rush. So pretty much Gold Rush is leading into Deadline, and I cannot wait. So we got NXT Gold Rush, and then the month after we have NXT Deadline. NXT is eating, and they're eating good with these PLEs, and I cannot wait. Then we get the Hardys versus DarkState in a Broken Rules tag team match. So the whole point of the match is any member from DarkState can fight, but the Hardys is just Matt and Jeff. The Hardys came back to NXT. But this was the first time in history that Matt and Jeff came as the broken characters together. Because Matt was broken on the main roster, but he never had like brother Nero, so Jeff Hardy. So it was really cool seeing them make their together debut as the Broken Hardys. And right away, it was just straight up brutality. The Hardys took it to DarkState, Twist of Fates, Poetry in Motion, ladders, tables, everything. I loved it how at one point Sugar and Cutler was just watching Lennox and Dion just get beat the hell up, and then they try to join and backfire. And then Jeff jumped off the steel steps, like pretty much taking them out. Multiple ladders and tables. But then the number game got the best of Jeff and Matt. Jeff goes through a bunch of tables, missing everyone, almost breaking his back. On the outside, Lennox puts Matt and Jeff through a barricade, like just pure chaos. Jeff Hardy comes back with kendo sticks, beating the hell out of everyone. But at the end, Lennox, he does this jump with, I forgot the other guy's name, but off the ladder, taking out Jeff for the win, while Matt is literally tied up on the top rope watching the chaos. Just pure chaos. I loved the match. I felt like it went a little long at points. Like, literally, some of the match, I was like, okay, it's kind of going a little long. Really good match. And the only problem is if the Hardys took the titles off for DarkState, why did DarkState retain right away? I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that it just seems kind of lackluster. Kind of having the Hardys win the NXT title just to defend it Bound for Glory and then just lose it right away. Kind of interesting and weird. And then after the match, Leon and Evans says, oh, we should have helped the Hardys, but the Hardys told us not to. And Evans have a great idea. He says, hey, Leon, well, we could get the NXT titles because we're not done with DarkState. Could they ruin our match at Bound for Glory? And Leon is like, yes, but I'm too busy with the X Division title right now, but soon. So most likely we're going to get Evans and Leon going after DarkState for their NXT tag team titles. So I'm really interested to see that storyline play out. Now we have the main event. So we have Ricky Saints versus Trick Williams. And guys, Ricky Saints came out dripping, okay? He came out like an Egyptian god, the gold, the chains, iconic. Trick came out cool as ever. Both men had a lot of egos and a lot to prove. Right away, both of them were showing off. I loved how Ricky like went under the ring. Trick tried to look for him. He poses his pose in the corner. Trick is like dodging moves and hidden poses, and then Trick on the outside screaming at Ricky, "You're gonna get through this table!" Like it was just pure like laughter at first, but then it became serious, and I liked it. The great back and forth, the athleticism at play. Trick would copy borrowed moves back and forth. Trick almost had Ricky with a Boston Crab, but great reversals, near falls. Ricky hits crazy moves back and forth, like literally like the movement that both of them did. Ricky went through a table that didn't stop, and at the end Ricky hits a springboard DDT to seal the win. Both looked like stars. What did this mean for Trick Williams after his loss? Because he lost the TNA title, and now he didn't get the NXT title. And what did this mean for NXT Gold Rush for Ricky Saints going into Gold Rush as champion? So pretty much Halloween Havoc was chaotic. We got new champions, OMG moments, killer spots. And now, because NXT Gold Rush is announced, the rush for the titles is on. We're almost at the end of the year, and NXT Gold Rush seems stacked because we have AAA, we have Evolve, we have TNA, and we have NXT going all at it in a couple weeks. And then after that, we have Deadline. So boy, get locked in, get strapped in, because NXT is about to take us on a crazy ride for the rest of the year, and I am hooked. Hopefully you guys liked the review, and I will see you guys next time. Also, tag down below what was your favorite gear or favorite match. So I would say my favorite gear of the night, it's between Tatum Paxley or Eve DePage. I love both of their gears. Also, Blake Monroe, I liked the gear as well. Favorite match of the night, I would actually have to say it will have to be Ethan Page and El Nino de Dr. Wagner Jr. Or it kind of surprised me. Tatum Paxley and JC Jane did a pretty good of a match. Like, I think it was one of the best of JC Jane matches so far. Those two were maybe my favorite matches of the night. So hopefully you guys had a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next time.